Good afternoon, all the delegates on the dais and in the hall. First of all, I should thank IRMA for giving me this opportunity. And there was a confusion also because we have a management institution, IRMA, in Gujarat. So when first I got it, I was a bit confused. And then talking about quality of education or quality of Indian education was the topic which was told to me by Arun. So I'll share something about that, my thoughts. But before that, I think I should introduce myself. Myself is a graduate, postgraduate and doctorate from BITS Pilani, Birla Institute of Technology in Pilani, in computer science, and have served there for 40 years. And currently I am Vice Chancellor at Mangalam University in Gurugram. Because I came late and introductions were getting over by that time, so I thought I must give my brief introduction. My areas of research has been robotics, nanotechnology, MEMS. Coming to the education, quality of education, and what is we can do. Let me begin with from the top level. When we talk of the education and the quality of education, what are the pillars on which the education system works? You can start with buildings, you can start with the facilities in that building, the laboratories and other infrastructure. But then you need faculty, teachers, so that is the third pillar. And the fourth pillar is the student. So if you want to make a building stand on 4 pillars, all the 4 pillars must be strong. Starting with teachers, all of us face the dilemma of the availability of quality teachers, because the good students in your class never take the teaching as a profession. Am I right? You have been teaching students for so many years, and the toppers of the class will never go for teaching. Who goes for teaching? Probably the bottom ones, who don't make any other job. Is it true? There may be exceptions, like you and me. But there is a dearth of quality teachers. Across the nation, you talk of the top universities, top institutions like IITs, 37% vacancies, to private universities, you don't get it. On the other hand, you may find universities are flooded by teachers who are not competent enough. Reasons may be meager salaries. Your teaching is never a preferred profession. If you ask your class today, I don't think any of the student is going to say, I am going to take teaching as a career. And this is a fact. They all want to make quick bucks, as some of my colleagues told. They want to change jobs every 2 years and continue. Now, all the 4 pillars therefore need to be strong. The second pillar is student. Student, we know the quality of students which we get filtered with all top-notch institutions, Ivy League institutions, and what private universities get in their quota. With that quality, we also look at what a student is supposed to do. We teach, we try to make him from X to Y, educate him so that he makes a good career. That is our role as a teacher. That's what we are supposed to do in the university. But is that correct? We get a student who is forced to learn mechanical engineering by peer pressure or parental pressure. But he is very good in fine arts. He is very good in media. He is not able to do that. What happens? He is a failure. So that is the quality of a student. So quality of a student is not the marks which he is getting in +2 and getting admitted. I measure the quality of a student as his interest in learning in what program he is admitted to. Coming to facilities, Again, there is a class difference between the private sector and the government sector. The funds, the breadth of funds for the private sector versus the enormous funds available in government institutions. I know of university in Rajasthan which got 50 crore worth of equipment imported, and the equipment was not even taken out of the cases, and then after 5 years it was sold as junk. The reason being, the person who got that project grant from the government left the university, went somewhere else, and nobody else knew what to do with it. So there is a huge wastage of funds on one end and huge breadth of funds on the other end. Buildings, we know universities and colleges running in 1 room or 2 room, and huge buildings, huge campuses like BHU Banaras or IIT, any of the IITs you say, or any other big campuses are there. So there is again a lot of difference. These are the pillars. You may not agree that 4 pillars, you may try to add more pillars to it. Now we want to measure the quality. Quality of each of these pillars is the challenge. Quality of the education provider, university, college. Again, we have so many regulators starting from UGC, AICT to BCI to PCI to you name it. Each regulator is doing its job. I will not say rightly or wrongly, but mostly they say don't do this, don't do this. They do not give us flexibilities. My colleagues talked about attendance. I will give you an example that is a real example, because I come from BITS, and for 40 years in BITS, attendance is not compulsory. That means the requirement of attendance to appear in the examination is 0%. But the challenges are there, students attend. It is not that the classes go empty. The students do attend. But I ask a question to myself, and I have taught students at BITS Pilani who did not attend a single class but was the course topper. So if current mechanism of studies are available and a student doesn't find that lecture to be attractive, which happens in most of the cases when the teachers don't take the lectures as a challenge, they only take a rhetoric delivery of the material or dictating of the notes. Why we force such a student to attend the class? Why UGC says 75% should be there? Is the education not given to such a student who is topping the class in every subject, not only one subject? What is wrong with that? So we should ask these questions to ourselves, and then regulator should try to understand that there is a need to change. Tight jackets may be useful somewhere, but not everywhere. In terms of measurement of quality, we can talk of placements. When we talk of the institutions, quality of the institutions, how placements are taking place, how research is there, how many publications are there, how many patents are there, and then we can go to rankings, the global rankings and the local rankings. NIFR has come, and all of us know about QS ranking and Times Higher Education ranking and China's ranking and all that. In spite of all these things, we also know that there are fake degree awarding institutions. Because quality of Indian education, if you want to measure, you cannot say these are my universities approved, accredited, and they should award degrees and I measure the quality of them only. There is a couple of them who are awarding fake degrees. UGC declares them. But then what is the role of the regulator if we can't stop them? And we get fake degrees for verification. Very interestingly, the university I am working for currently is just 4-year-old. We have not awarded a single degree, but we got degrees for verification. So that is the scenario in India, and that is the challenge for education. All of you heard of the demonetization? 8th November? There was a demonetization of education. Are you aware of it? The Indian education was demonetized 400 years ago by Lord Macaulay. Over a short time, the whole country was declared illiterate. And today still we are fighting with illiteracy because the definition of literacy has changed. 400 years ago, Macaulay in his report wrote that India has 98%. 400 years ago, I may be wrong in the history. So that was the scenario. Not exactly 400, but country was literate before the Britishers came here. And now we still are fighting for literacy in the country. We are talking of quality of higher education. We cannot build a building without a strong foundation. So what is the quality of primary education? Secondary education? So school education has to be looked at. Even after 72 years of independence, we are not able to provide education to every child to the primary level. We bring Right to Education Act, but where is the implementation? In 72 years, we could not make the country literate, all the children literate. And we discover rather, that only 6% or 26% of the students, I may be wrong in number of percentage, but 6th class student cannot read 3rd class books. Recently, you must have seen this in the newspapers 3-4 months ago. And we have a massive drive for it. We do it for 3 months, and after that, forgotten. So that is the scenario of Indian education. We should not be just getting elated by the statement made by Trump. Okay, it is very good, we are doing well. If outside says good, it is good. But what is happening? We are trying to copy Western education. We try to move towards them. Macaulay made that. The Indian education system should be killed. One of my colleagues pointed out the education Rama got, how he got it. That was the model of Indian education. I think it's the time we should start thinking about it and then have an Indian education system and then talk about its quality. Thank you.